You don't really know what love is until you've been through some fire with somebody. Real love doesn't just show up when it's easy, it shows up when it's hard. This episode is about the moments that rest your bond, test your bond, and how they can actually make it stronger. Let's go.
Yeah.
My name is
No
Justin
kidding.
Bird, and I am your host, and this is my lovely host,
Letty
co-host Letty
Zito.
Zito. Welcome you guys. Woo! Okay,
So excited to have
excited
you
to have you guys here. All right, so this podcast today, we are going to be discussing some awesome things. So, built different. How do how love grows in the fire, not in the comfort. Yes, yes. How you feeling?
Wow, we have had some fire.
Woo!
Fire.
Good fire, bad fire, all the above. Let me see. Let me
Yeah.
get my microphone here. So yes, thank you. Hot sizzling. Welcome
Hot.
in, you guys. Welcome in. Good evening, good
Yes.
morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. You guys could be anywhere, but you guys chose to be here with us.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully,
Thank
you guys
you.
stick until the end. We have some phenomenal things we're gonna go over today. So again, thanks for being here. How you doing, lady?
I'm great,
Yeah?
Justin. Doing
Fantastic. Let's
phenomenal.
go.
Right.
Love your hair.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah,
let's go.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so the truth about what almost broke us and
Mm.
how we bounced back. You know, we're gonna kind of unpack some things today. You know, we've gone through a lot of great things. We've
We
gone
really
through some
have,
struggles, some
yes.
trials, some tribulations, but we've really bounced back, and we're still
Yeah.
here. You know, it's been six years and a few months,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
we're going strong.
definitely.
You know, I find that we are really we're growing, and you know, what was that ticking sound?
I have no clue.
So we're on this new we're on this restream. This is our second time on it, so we're getting things figured
Man,
out,
we
and
even
we're
we even
adjusting.
did some test runs, and like I don't see anybody on here. I don't know. I don't know how this works.
We don't, but we're getting it.
Justin,
We're figuring it
yet,
out. We're learning as we're earning,
you
and we're
know,
showing as we're growing. You dig? So
that's what it is.
we're making things happen as we're going. So we're not gonna let anything stop us, keep us
That's
back,
right.
hold us
That's
down,
right.
whatever the case may be. So I don't see anybody on here yet,
Mm,
but I did hear a ticker go ping,
right.
ping.
I was like, oh,
But
anyway.
so again, the truth about what almost broke us and how we bounced back.
Mm,
So what almost broke us was the fact that we got into using substance and alcohol, and we're using things that were, you know, really shifting our mind and not, you know, giving us the full potential of what we are able to do. So one thing that almost broke us was our lack to, you know, stay sober.
But not just that, I think too, the way that, we were brought up, like our communication style, our emotional intelligence, I think,
Right.
Played a role in that. The way that, I perceived men, the way that you perceived women, I think played, a big role in that. And of course, right, um, substance, played a big role in our decision making. We did a lot of things and said a lot of things, right, that hurt each other. And there were so many times that we both wanted to give up, where we were both just like, maybe this just isn't, where we need to be. But we're still here.
Yeah.
We're still sometimes the fire is still going, right? But and then you get the comfort. And if it was always comfortable, I mean, I don't know that we would grow and learn. It's in the fire, right, that we grow and learn. But thankfully we weren't alone in that fire, right? We had our relationship with God, that I knew I could call on him when I would get upset or angry, and there were times like I would yell and cuss you out, I'm not gonna lie. But I would always go to God and just say, like, if this is what you want, show me, change me. That's my prayer started to change, right? Because I wanted you to change. I wanted you to change and be how I wanted you to be, so I would be comfortable, right? That's the truth.
Yeah.
And what I learned was, I have to be the change that I want to see. And that's not always easy. It's really uncomfortable, right? It's easier to blame and say it's him.
Right, yeah.
I'm not doing anything. But the truth is, right, my prayers have changed to change me, bless him, right? Help me see him the way that God sees him, because, I feel like he's your child too, and he's hurting too,
Right,
and
yeah.
he's going through his own, emotions. And it's not up to him to manage mine or to make me comfortable, which is what I thought before, right? If I could just set the stage and all my actors would just do what I want them to do, I would be okay inside. But the truth is no matter how much you change the environment outside of you, if you're not okay inside, you could change it a billion times and you're still not going to be okay inside. So I had to go within, right, with God on my side and talk to God about it and talk to other people about it. And ultimately, here we are.
Yeah.
Over 6 years later,
And how we grew together instead of growing apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In hard seasons, especially, throughout the hard times, we grew together as opposed to like, growing apart. And there's times where it gets rough and you have your patches of like, but overall, like we have really come together and we are a team, we're a family, and we've always made it work. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I mean, I can't say I don't know why, but God always makes things work. Like legitly, like we've never gone without, we've never needed anything. There's never been a time where we're, like really having to go out and do anything to make ends meet, like, something that illegal or anything like that. We've always had, the ability to get up and walk and work and talk and things that to be able to communicate. So, I feel blessed. I feel blessed to be able to have all my limbs and things like that. So, and how we grew together instead of growing apart. I just feel that's something important, that we stayed together and we're still growing. And it getting up here and, it's not a lot, but there's some work behind it. You have to do quite a bit to actually get up here, set the stage, make sure the lights are good. And we got a new camera that we weren't able to figure out right now. It's a good one too. It's a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's a really good one. So next time you see us, we're gonna have this camera up and running, and it's gonna be smooth. And so, not that this isn't smooth, but again, we're just upping, what we're doing and make sure that we're progressing and getting better and better at what we're doing. So fine tuning things is always good. Just making sure that we're staying together as a unit, because the time where I had my the podcast here by myself, it was just awkward. It was weird. It was like, it just didn't feel the same. I was only on for like 15 minutes before I was like, all right, I gotta go. This is not, not that I couldn't make it happen, but it was just, it's our podcast. It's us, just like us. So, it's just something that we're doing together. And without her, it was a bit different. So, and so, and Letty shares how she held space when things felt heavy. This is what she does, is she's able to share how she held space when things got heavy for her. And she has her things that she does to keep her afloat and keep her from, going off and using and drinking. And there's several things that she has and in her in place so that she's able to stay doing what she's doing. Myself, actually, I ran into somebody yesterday. I was at work that we bowled with, and they're like, "Hey, that's seeing you." Here's this couple that they bowled really good, and they see me at Walmart, and they're like, "Hey, are you still bowling?" I said, "No, actually, I had quit. I had started bowling because I quit using substance, and this was something to kind of to help keep me, focused away from, wanting to go use. Not that I needed it, but for me, it was just a good way to just stay busy, and then to have something to do. And so it helped me to stay focused on what I was doing. That was just to stay sober. But again, I wasn't, for me, I knew it was time for me to stop because my heart was hurting and I had several things going on. And me and Letty, we were kind of, it was really starting to tear into our relationship because she wasn't using it and I was. So it felt like it was necessary, and there was a time because I got this little boy, I got my two daughters, and I want to see them grow old with me. I don't want to, obviously I don't want to die, but that was kind of like the course I was going on, because with the stuff that they have in these substances is so dangerous. And it was just like, it was really now or never. And I just said, you know what, this time. And so like anyone else who wants to change, you have to take the steps first to make the change. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. It's time to quit, time to stop, and start living life to the fullest. And man, I'll tell you what, I have come so far. We have come so far in the past. It's been 2 years since the last time we've seen you guys. It's been 2 years for her, and we celebrated that, right? Can we talk about that or no?
I mean, we can, sure. I mean, I'm not trying to hide it.
Well, so the fact of the matter is, it's been 2 for her, 1 for me, and it's really the life that we're leading now is so much more fun, so much better, so much more clean, as far as like, just you feel better, you feel, refreshed on a daily, and just it's we're blessed, and it's us that's doing that by simply not going out and using, but
Mm.
we're here with our love, and it grows in fire, not in the comfort. So that's why we're here in this episode talking to you guys, because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work to be able to to build a home that you can be happy in. And sometimes maybe it doesn't. Sometimes people will just fall in love and they can go be hippies and go see the world. I mean, really, sometimes
Yeah.
it's not as hard or complicated to be in love, which I find that to be how I think. I would like to think that things, love should be
Mm.
simple and easy, but who am I? I don't I don't know. I think it should be, but you go through your trials and
Mhm.
tribulations, and you learn together, and here we are still
Yeah.
together as a unit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Still
definitely.
making things happen, having fun. We have structure, and it feels good. Without her, there's a lot of things that would be changed and would be different, and probably in a negative way. So
Mm.
with her, things are a lot smoother and funner, and she has that she has the mom side of things that I don't. And so, what I mean, she has the lady luck and these things that, things that are a plus for our family. And obviously she's contributed to so much positivity in our
Mm.
world, in our life, that, without her, things would be a whole lot different. And I say that to say, finding the right person. There's people that go their whole life
Mm.
and never find what we have, and that's a connection, compatibility. That the things that we have that we're thriving together is a lot of people never get the chance to find this,
Mm.
or they don't seek it, or whatever the case may be. But so I feel honored and blessed to have Letty by my
Definitely.
side,
Yeah.
and I'm sure she would say the same.
I would.
Again, we have our
Yes.
moments where it's like, dang man,
Where I don't even want to be next to you
right, yeah,
sometimes.
but that's just part of life. And
Yeah.
somebody told me that the other day, is like, the growing pains of life are just kind of like how you
Mm.
learn to not be a certain way, or how you learn what you
Mm.
don't want. And so none of this stuff I'm saying is set in stone. This is just like
Yeah.
my opinion. So for each and every one of you who are listening, and shout out to anybody who's on here, we can't see.
There's-
I don't know why we can't
yeah.
see it. We're learning here.
Anyway.
Did you learn on how we were supposed to do that?
Yeah.
As far as chat.
And
If anybody's on here, do me a
no, I
favor.
did a
Type in the
live
chat.
learn the
Type
other
in the
day.
chat. Let me hear. If anybody's in here, I see one person's viewing, but we don't see who it is. So if you're in here, show us what's up. Say hi. Shout us out. Something. No.
Mm.
If you're on here, say what's up. Anybody.
Okay.
We got one person viewing, but we can't see who it is. So
Yeah.
we'll get it figured out either way. Again, we're on. This is episode 2 of season 2.
Right.
And we're making it happen. So, and there are some things in the works. That that we're aiming to do. Oh,
There's
yeah, Kareen, let's
Hi,
go.
sister.
Woo!
Kareen,
Yeah,
love
let's
you.
go. Okay, so we can see it.
We can see.
How you doing, sister?
I can see
Yes.
clearly now. Kareen is here.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so we don't have any background music. I don't know. what's
Yeah,
going on
but
with
we
that.
can get some.
Okay, let's get it. Okay.
Right quick.
Yeah,
Chill.
let's get
What
some
do you
chill.
want?
Let's
Some
do it.
chill
Okay,
music?
cool. Get that. Let's see. Okay, so
Make
we're
sure.
working. It's working. Five is working. Okay, cool. So we're making it happen. We're making progress. This is good. Definitely good. Okay, so here we are. And again, today's episode, we are discussing, build different on love, how love grows in fire and not in the comfort zone, not being,
honestly, right? Like it's easy to love when you have those feelings and things are going like ideal. It's easy to be like, I love you. You're so
right. Yeah.
You're so great, right? But how do you keep that when, say, one of us is having a moment, having a meltdown,
moment,
having a, or not feeling our best, right? That's why it's so important, to go within and look at what you're not giving yourself, instead of depending on your partner to give you that attention or that, to meet your emotional needs. At this point, we should be able to self-soothe, but some of us learned how to be codependent and how to look to other people to give us what we need. We're supposed to complement each other,
right?
But this is where in the fire, we get to find those things out about ourselves, right? And then move accordingly. I think, anyways, that's how it's been working for me.
You call Blink?
Yes, I had it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I get it. So you survive fire. So I wanted to say, we've been through the fire.
Mm.
We came out and we're able to now walk with purpose, and we feel like we have a vision, a dream,
Mm.
and we're able to, consciously see what it is that we want to do, and we're moving toward the
Yeah.
light that we want to see. And that's, that's really us being in the footsteps of what we want to be, following in the right footsteps. And more am I coming into the Word of God and like the things that I need to. And one thing I don't have is a Bible. So if anybody wants to send me a Bible, let's do
We
it.
got one.
But yeah, I feel like,
shelf.
being where I'm at now, I can't imagine where I'm going to be at in a year. I mean, I can imagine, but like really how far I've come in a year, and where I'm going to be at next year, I feel amazing. I feel great. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be at. Because again, me and Leti, we've gone through so much, but again, we're moving forward with purpose. We're moving forward because we're continuously striving to do better, making sure that we're taking the steps necessary to build on what we're doing and to grow and to keep on taking these stepping stones. 6 years ago, me and Leti ventured out as we first got together, and we wanted to go do something that we didn't have a 9 to 5. So what we did was, there's a guy across the street. I ended up waving to him, saying hi, and he said, "Hey, I'm doing this and that." And we went to a couple of these meetings, and the whole point was to go out and venture out and to really get involved with something that could potentially help us quit our 9 to 5s. And that dream, that goal is something that we're still aiming for. We hadn't really pursued it until just recently again.
Right.
We did that, and it kind of like died out for a second, but the whole idea is to be able to get out and do something for ourselves that we don't have to leave. I'm so convinced that here soon I'm going to be able to work from home, and meaning I'm gonna be able to have that laptop lifestyle, and to be able to, you know what I mean, to be able to be on planes and going. I want to travel. For anybody who's been out there, and I'm sure many of you have gone and traveled a lot. Karen, I'm sure you probably traveled. I don't know if you have or not, but for me, I want to go travel. I want to go see the world. I want to go see the pyramids. I want to go see Puma Punku and Puma Punku, and I want to go see the pyramid. I want to see a lot of things in the world. So for me, it'd be nice to have a job that I'm not tied down to, stuck to, and a 9 to 5 somewhere, at a brick and mortar that I got to show up to and deal with toilets and other things. I'm at that point now. I really, really want to work from home, stay with the family, and be able to cook meals with Leti, and stay here and not have to come home to a meal that she's already cooked and whatnot. So there's a lot of things that we've grown together with, and really the sky's the limit. I don't want to stop and say, hey, I've plateaued and made it, because I haven't. I've got aspirations, I've got dreams, and we've got goals, and we got things that we're taking these small steps to, but. I really feel I'm proud of myself and Leti too for how far we've come. She celebrated 2 years of being completely, without any kind of substance or anything else. And I'm like very proud of her. This is a big deal. It's a huge accomplishment. And so for us, this was the fire. This was going through the fire. This was something that we came out on top. And I say that because we went through hell with what we were putting ourselves through. We put ourselves through hell because we're continuously picking up the substance and putting it in our body, which is allowing, this poison to be inside of us, beer, alcohol, nicotine, even the caffeine or whatever it may be. For me, I'm like, I quit all this stuff because I choose to. I want to do better for myself. So here I am in front of you guys, dressing nice, feeling great. I feel like, I've stopped like having to really use an inhaler. And also I used to have this problem when I was swallowing food that was really hard to swallow food. It would like get stuck halfway, and I don't have that issue much anymore. And I feel like it's because my body's coming back into its like original state of like normality, of being like, like normal, and like not having to fight these things that I'm putting in my body. Again, last episode, I talked about us wanting to move away from the poisonous foods. And like, if there's an ingredient, I don't want it. If there's an ingredient, I don't need it. And so it's hard to get away from, because you have restaurants, you have outings, you have everything's so just like right there handy. And it seems like to get the natural foods, it's really difficult to get the natural foods at a good price. That's quality. And I'm not gonna blame anything, because you want what you get and you get what you want, right? If you really want something, you're gonna go get it, right? Yeah. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Good.
You all right over there?
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Listening here.
I don't mean to. I'm just giving some, where we're at in life and how we're doing, and the things that we're going through. Because again, the podcast, Just Like Us, it's because there's so many people out there that I've learned that are just like us, that are going through their everyday trials and tribulations. That they just it feels good to have a platform to talk about this, and we want to know what you guys are thinking too. It's a whole lot better when we have people chiming in, and we feel like it's necessary, because it's one thing if we're sitting up here talking to our company or the people who's allowing us into your life, because if you think about it, you guys are allowing us to be in your home.
Right.
You know what I mean? You guys are allowing us to be in your home,
Yeah.
whether you watch us live or you watch us after the fact. The fact that we're being able to be seen by you guys are allowing us into your home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we feel proud for that. And also at the same time, we're doing the work to put it in here to be able to get up here to be able to be seen. You know what I mean? So it feels good both ways. It feels like having support, people that actually care, support you, as well as being able to get up here and be behind the lights. And again, we're nothing, we're not famous, we're not, millionaires by any means, but we're working on doing better so that we can contribute to other people's lives as well.
Yeah.
We want
it's just it's nice to know that we're not alone. I've talked to many people, and the struggle in relationships, I don't care if they're romantic, mothers, fathers, co-workers, bosses, like relationships can test us. That the pressure, right? Diamonds are tested by pressure, and I believe that that pressure helps refine you, right? It's, what is it? Iron sharpens iron, right? And sometimes there can be a power struggle, and sometimes you have to be the first one, right? To let go, to not say that thing that you want to say, right? And just allow that person the space to kind of go through what they're going through,
right.
But it doesn't mean you have to be anybody's like verbal punching bag. I mean, we've done that too. And we're learning, how to just kind of like, okay, let me go talk to someone else about it, go, talk to God about it, or just write about it.
There's a lot of ways that you could, but again, we're here on this podcast because it feels good to be out here. It feels good to be vulnerable, because last year it was like my vulnerability is my superpower. And this year is all about momentum. And so I have like my North Star kind of like word, you know what I mean? Momentum is like my North Star word. And so for anybody out there who's, looking for like your one word that you can go to when you're feeling any kind of certain way, have that word that you can bounce back from. Mine is momentum. Last year I was really I was cleaning and clearing a path. So now this year is all about momentum for me. And so I'm gonna continue progressing forward and striving to do better. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm seeing the efforts paying off, for real. I'm seeing the efforts paying off. If I tell you right now, this is true, that I have people who are very successful around me, as opposed to the people who were not necessarily pulling me down, but now I have people around me that are really wanting to see me do good. I have millionaires around me. I have people that are very successful. I have doctors. I have people that want to see me do well, but they're successful in their own ways. And it allows me to have that space to be able to up myself. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you probably should get some new friends. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's great if you're the smartest person in the room, but if you are, think about it. It's probably best to start getting some new friends. If I'm not learning from somebody, I feel like, okay, it feels good to feel like the king of the castle, the king of the mountain. But I mean, like, really, if you're the smartest person in the room, you probably should get yourself in a new room. And that's not saying anything negative. I'm just being real. That's just how my mind is working now. I enjoy the fact that I'm around people that are smarter than me because I'm learning a lot from them. I don't want to be this. I on the contrary to being the smart person, I want to be the person that's constantly learning. Of course, I want to be smart and smarter, but I would like to know that the people who are around me are able to show me stuff that I can learn from. If you're not pushing me, I'm probably not going to be around you. And that's okay. You know why? Because that just shows that I'm growing. For me, it's just about growth. And for us, being through what we've gone through, it has built some tough skin. We got some scars, we got some battle scars, we got some, but we also have some luster. We also have some shines and some points of us that has really glistened and gleamed and been glimmering, and having some of these points in our life where we have really shined. Like there's several times in public, people like have mentioned how great we are and our energy, but really behind closed doors we have this phenomenal energy between us. We do. There's fire there. There's spark. There's there's a lot of spunk, and there's a lot of positive things about our life that I've never really had before. You know what I mean? And so with Leti, everything has really changed for the better in my life. Everything has been has really boosted my self-esteem, my courage. Everything I'm going through. I have a lot of respect for Leti for helping pull me up and saying, hey, I have this, foundation. why don't we build together? Because there's several times where Letty is like, this is our home and our place and she showed me that this is an us thing, and it feels really, really good to have somebody in your corner having your back. And we go through our times, we go through our like anyone else in relationship, you go through things but they help either build you or break you. And us together, we're being built. We're building. We got so many stories, man. We got more stories than the construction building. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
I was like, wait, okay, I got it. It took a minute,
but it feels good because having, like I said, somebody in your corner that believes in you. It's easy to believe back with them when you see that they really want to see you win. So for me, it's a no-brainer having somebody like Letty around. She's changed my life. She's changed the way I move. Changed the way I think and feel. And it's been a plus since I met her. Since the very, very moment I met her, we went out, we had fun, we danced. She showed up swerving, drunk as a mug. You know what I'm saying? She was drinking. She pulled out and let me drive. You know what I mean? We went out and danced. We had a blast, and it's been history ever since. You know what I mean? So, again, it feels good to have somebody in your corner that believes in you, and even that you can believe in, somebody that you can depend on, somebody you can count on, even though you've been through the fire, came out. You know what I mean? A little like charcoal. You know what I mean? Like charbroiled up, but we didn't did it, and we can say we're living proof that sticking it out with somebody, it really, you can shine even after, like a diamond. You know what I mean? You can be burnt, charcoaled up, but you can still come out shining too. You know what I mean? And shining meaning, not physically, not like emotionally, spiritually. I feel like we've come so far together, and so how do you feel about it?
I was gonna say something, but now I forgot what I was gonna say.
I was rambling.
Anyways, that's okay. I was like,
my bad.
Oh, when do I?
She's really good at interrupting usually, but I don't know why not on here.
But I'm getting so much better at that. Like, anyways, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. It has to. It was fantastic.
Sure, it was.
Of course, it was.
But yeah, being in the comfort zone, that really, we've strived and done like some of the better things.
Oh, I know what I was going to say now. Sorry. Yeah. May I?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I think that being transparent with each other, I think that was also something that, we struggled with together, was like transparency because of our previous, relationships, or even just, our upbringing, being transparent. I think that we hid a lot of things from each other, right? That, got found out anyways, and we have worked through that and continue to, work through that. And I think we're a lot more open, would you agree?
Yeah.
Than we were, before, being able to, come in and talk to. It's the way that you come to somebody. Sometimes I was very demanding and, like, you're going to listen to me. Yeah. And this is how it's going to be. Right. And I've since found learning how to be softer, right? Learning how to be like less in my survival mode, which some people would call that, masculine energy. I'm learning, how to just soften and, and you do provide a space for me to be able to do that, and so it's just, watching you, you've taught me just as much as I've taught you. What you, and I've said this before, like we're mirrors to each other. Right. And so what I would say to you, right. There's a saying, you can point your finger, but there's three pointing back at you.
I never said it to recently because I was like, what do you mean? You point the finger at somebody, there's three pointing back at you. I never knew that. You, right? Point one at me, you got 3 pointing back at yourself. I didn't know that. But it's like that.
Yeah. It's basically looking, to look at yourself, and see, what your part in everything has played, not just the bad, but even the good.
Especially
like what do I bring to it? Yeah.
I'm a very optimistic person.
And I am too. And, I've had a lot of good things happen in my life, but because of, I believe because of, my upbringing and substance and spending so much time blaming other people, but I also blamed myself, not just other people. I held myself to a really high standard. Therefore, I held other people to one. I couldn't even reach it. And, it's learning each other, right? I think learning about the person that you're with, you know, and we should all continue to learn about each other and evolve together, right? I mean, you have your ventures, you have your things you're doing, which is fantastic, and I have mine, you know, and I like to be a little more private about it, but that's just me.
Right.
So, you know, we've enjoyed this time with you, and I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. You know, we hope that, you know, you can start to open up conversations in your relationships.
Yes.
And, you know, take a look at yourself and see, you know, where you want to change, if you want to change, how you want to change.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're here to make impact. The reason we're showing up like this again is because we want to make impact. For me personally, I feel like I've taken so much in my life. Giving back is really just kind of like second nature right now. You know what I mean? I really am a giver. Although I have taken, you know, like I said, I used to go in the house at night where people were sleeping, and it was like a game to me to see how much I can get without them waking up. And it was a deadly game. Like somebody could have got up and killed me. But I'm here talking to you now because, you know, I obviously I've stopped that kind of life, and you know, I was a kid when I was doing that, but I've taken so many things in my life that like giving back is just what I want to do. And so we've been doing this. We don't get paid to do this. We come up here and show up here because we want to be able to give back. And this is a platform where we're doing that, you know?
Exactly.
And so at some point we hope to, you know what I mean, to get enough people up here that we can potentially start making something from this to feed this, you know, because there are several things that we're having to put up to be able to do this. And that's fine. That's what we're doing. You know, we're having to put some things in, like we got this new camera, we got these. So for me, it feels good. So I'm glad that you guys were able to be here with us. Again, you could be anywhere in the world. So, you know, for the
thank you, Sister Kareem.
Yes, Kareem, for being here. I sure do, she said. And yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this podcast. So let's earn together, let's learn together, let's grow together and
let's
stay
love
a
together.
Unit. You know, at some point we will have a community that, you know, we can all be a part of it and kind of pour into each other. But for now, right now, this is our community. This is you guys coming, showing up, and us being here and showing up for you guys and being able to be a part of this together. So Kareem, thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you being here, sister. Love you so much. And catch us on the live, you know, I mean on the replays, you guys. And I'm sure we get most of the people who see us on replay. So if you made it this far, you know, shout outs to you. And you know, thank you guys for being a part of this again. So until next time, we're gonna see you guys then. Stay tuned and let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And this is Just Like Us. I'm Justin. Until next time,
Leti.
We'll see you then, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Here we go on live.
And stream.